Who's this guy?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Carlos Maurer, and I am the president of Shell in the Americas, Shell Lubricants in the Americas. So, what a great pleasure to be here this morning. This celebration, this ribbon cutting, for me is just the proof of how wonderful things can happen when you get the right people involved, as we have seen it today, from great Shell colleagues, great partners with Kenco, local officials, and obviously the community, and ultimately the staff who's going to be here with us as we launch this facility. So I will share three things with you today. So first, who we are, what we do, and lastly, why are we here? So who we are, so we are Shell Lubricants. We are part of a Shell business that is called Global Commercial. So in addition to lubricants, we have a bitumen business, our asphalt business. We actually were here a few years ago. We marketed bitumen here. We also have an aviation business. So we deliver the fuel, most likely brought you here if you flew. And we also have a marine business. What we do? Well, we make lubricants. We're the #1 lubricants company in the world. Here in the US, we have the great privilege to represent three brands. Pennzoil, you see here, Quaker State, and behind me you will see Shell Rotella. These two brands, obviously, with a very tight historical relationship to the state of Pennsylvania, but these are brands that have been with us for a very long time. It also tells you where do we sell our products, because most people say, relate to lubricants, and you cannot, you go to a Walmart or you go to AutoZone and you will see our products there. But we also deliver to, original equipment manufacturers like Fiat Chrysler. So these drums here, they're actually transmission fluid for Fiat Chrysler. These drums may go to one of the independent workshops. The things you see in the back will also be sold in Costco, that you find in Walmart, you will find in AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and so forth. And this is what then ultimately brings us here. So we spend a lot of effort in building these products. And we have a facility not far from here, a Congo facility, where our staff spend a significant effort every day to make a superbly good product, great quality product. But ultimately, we have to deliver this to our customers. And number one priority is to delight our customers, to really deliver exceptional customer service. And this is where this facility comes in. If you think about why we selected this, first, it's the partnership. It's the professionalism of the people that we work with. This is why we partner with Kenco. Secondly, is location. This facility brings a lot of advantages for us. It's closer to most of our customers. It really increases our proximity, and somebody already referred this morning, it is so important to be close because that is what customer expects. So we will increase the number of customers that are within 1 day of this facility by 11%, so closer customers. We will also reduce the miles traveled between our facilities, our existing distribution center. And that brings with itself some great advantages. It reduces our exposure to our activities, to our drivers, but also reduces, obviously, our CO2 footprint. Last but not least, one of the great things about looking at this place is scalability. So I'm very happy that there's now opportunity to grow. We'll want to first fill this warehouse, and then we will build the next one. And hopefully, because that would mean that we're doing very, very well. So I'm very eager that we have the need to build or expand this facility. So for us, it's important to have that scalability. I'm a big believer in the growth of our business, and that's why we want to have that scalability. With that, I am going to invite my good friend and colleague, Richard Jory, to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Carlos, and welcome to everybody here. I must say, I live in Singapore, and it's about 100 degrees in Singapore. It's a little bit colder today, so I can relate to the challenges on the road. But I must say, what has changed the weather for me today is the warm welcome. You know, I don't believe that I've been to a ceremony like this before, where there has been such fantastic collaboration between the public sector, the private sector, and everybody really in charge of driving for the right outcome. And that's, speaking as an English person, I can tell you I wish we had more collaboration in my country as we face our Brexit challenges, but you guys have really set the bar very high. Now, Carlos has talked to you a little bit about who we are, what we do and why we're here. And I think just on the who we are bit, something which might be of interest to you, around the globe, we lubricate 1 in 9 things on this planet that moves. Just think about that for a moment. It is an amazing statistic. And so who we are? Well, we're the company that keeps this world moving. We keep you on the move. I think that's really important to think about. Because what we're doing here is we are keeping those wheels of industry turning every day. So what we do, we manufacture products. We manufacture about 12,000 products across the globe in our around about 50 plants. And we supply those to customers, all sorts of customers, from retail customers who buy products off the shelf at the local station, all the way through to big car manufacturing plants, many of them here in the US. And why are we here? I mean, fundamentally, location, 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 as Carlos said. What I would like to just focus on for a moment is safety. Safety is absolutely paramount to Shell. That's why we've got the hard hat on, the glasses, we're all wearing the PPE. It's not what we have to do, it is, as the sign says back here, it is part of our culture. It's in our DNA. And I want to make sure that every day that we operate this facility, every day is what we call a goal zero day. It's where every day people go home safely to their families, where we make sure that every day the product is still in the drums and in the packs. That's what I want to happen. And I want the commitment from the people here that they will make every day a goal zero day. The second area on safety I just want to focus on for a moment is around road transport safety. That is something which is really dear to me because I've seen too often incidents happen around the world where people don't go home at the end of the day to their families. And so the location here enables, as speakers have said, 1 million miles of traffic to be taken off the roads. And that is a fantastic achievement because one of the key ways that we can keep people safe is to eliminate that risk altogether. So those 1 million miles are really important. So safety, please take that message home really clear with you all today. And then the third piece is, of course, if we're not driving that million miles, then we're not burning fuel, which means we're not emitting CO2. And that's really important for Shell as well in terms of our carbon intensity of what we do day in, day out. So great reasons to be here. Of course, Carlos, who heads our sales organization, keeps telling me, I head our supply chain organization around the world, keeps telling me, well, Richard, you know, you need to make sure that the customer gets the product quicker. And it was mentioned earlier on about being within 24 hours. So we're really trying to make sure we can respond how we, as consumers, all expect things to happen in the business dimension as well. So we get our products to our customers much quicker. That does two things. One, it makes our customers happier, but two, it also helps us to manage cost as well. We're driving less miles, having a safer business, and we're getting our products to our customers quicker. It's a good business from a cost perspective. So some great advantages of being here today. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for being here and hand over to Dave for the closing. Thank you very much.
What a fun celebration. So I've got the last few words to say before we actually stand up and cut a ribbon, which is what we're here to do, right? So just a couple of quick remarks on two different topics. One, a great location, which you've already heard a lot about today, and I'll say a little more. And then two, just a great relationship that we are excited to begin. So I've actually got some personal connections to Pennsylvania, even though I might sound like I'm from the South. My mom was born and raised outside of Scranton, and I spent 1 or 2 weeks every summer up in the Poconos and a few really fantastic Christmases up there. My best friend in the world did undergrad and grad at Penn State, so I have an affinity for College Station. But all that's a little bit east of here. So we're really excited to move west, because from a professional perspective, Kenco has been in Pennsylvania for decades. I tried to figure it out, maybe 24, 25 years, but we're in York, we're in Allentown, we're in Reading, a number of places out east. And this is our first spot in Western PA and Southwestern PA specifically. So we are excited to get things going. Pittsburgh, I didn't know it was the crossroads. I love that. That's a cool, supply chain story there. It also, from a port perspective, is interesting because it's the only port in Pittsburgh that has connections to the Great Lakes, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic Ocean. So there's actually a lot of logistical qualities to Western PA that we're excited to sort of be able to put roots down on. From a great relationship perspective, I want to mention our founder is Mr. Kennedy. That's why we're called Kenco. And he started the business with his brother-in-law back in 1950. Today we've got 30 million square feet of space across North America. We've got 5,000 employees, and we would certainly love to grow in this area. One of the things Mr. Kennedy says from time to time, although he doesn't come into the office anymore, but he often talks about how your parents would warn you to be careful who you hang out with. Be careful the company you keep. He would say that, their habits will become your habits, and their reputation is going to become your reputation. And so your parents would always warn you to be careful who you're running around with, the crowd you're running around with. Mr. Kennedy always translated that over into the companies we keep, the business-to-business perspective. And that is why we are so excited to start this relationship with Shell. If you think about the cultural alignment, it just hits really on all cylinders. Starting with safety, which we've heard a lot about this morning, and the imperative nature of that day in and day out. We're committed to the goal zero, so thank you for saying it, and you have our commitment every day. If you think about collaboration, if you think about the integrity, sustainability, things we've heard about this morning, all the way through continuous improvement. I mean, we say it in different ways. We might use a little bit of different language, but the principles behind it all are the same. And that's been a recipe for success for us. We've had relationships for decades. We've been with DuPont for 60 years. Electrolux for 50 years, Whirlpool for 40 years, and I could go on and on and on in terms of who we've been with for decades. But the secret to that success is having that alignment, maintaining the integrity during the tough times, right, and then consistently driving continuous improvement on behalf of Shell. And that's our commitment. That's what we're going to do. So we look forward to the start of many decades together, and let's go cut the ribbon and make this thing official.
Let's just make sure the flash is working. Okay. 1, 2, 3.